everybody, and welcome to a new tutoring video. Have you ever thought about how wonderful is the fact that plants and animals and other living things can live all together in one place? Well, what I'm talking about are ecosystems. But what are these? During this video, we will learn about what an ecosystem is, its features, and the types that can be found in our wonderful country, Ecuador. An ecosystem includes all of the living things, plants, animals, and organisms in a given area, interacting with each other. And also, there are the non-living things: weather, earth, sun, soil, climate, and atmosphere. Let's see. We have a small puddle in a park. We might have organisms like the flies, tadpoles, water weeds, and the sand and soil around the puddle. It is a clear example of an ecosystem. Do you know why? Yes, because you can see that all these elements are living together and they depend on each other. We have two types of ecosystems. We have aquatic and terrestrial. Ecuador is considered one of the most biodiverse places in the world. Our level of diversity is related to the latitude where we are, as well as the influence of climate we have due to our position in the globe. We have 4 main regions, and in each we can find all the ecosystems distributed. As we were saying, Ecuador is a mega diverse country, and here in our country we have 9 ecosystems which are distributed between aquatic and terrestrial ecosystems. Unfortunately, due to anthropic factors, anthropic understanding the intervention of human beings in things like agriculture, home and building development, mining, oil extraction, all these things are making that our ecosystems are facing danger of extinction. Although the government, in an effort to preserve these areas, has developed natural reserves and protected areas to assure life in these places the way it should be. We were saying that in Ecuador we have 4 regions. Well, let's take a look at the examples of our 9 ecosystems. We're going to begin with the tropical dry forest, which develops in dry climate regions like Manabí, Santa Elena, and Galapagos provinces. The main features about these ecosystems is that they receive very scarce precipitations due to the lack of tall trees and exuberant vegetation that can attract rains. The vegetation typically found in these areas is made up of ceibo trees, algarrobos, cacti, and other bushes. The trees and other bushes in these forests lose all their leaves during dry seasons to preserve the water they have in their environment. During the seasons, the photosynthesis process develops in the trunks of trees. Some examples of fauna you can find in this ecosystem are the opossum, the howler monkey, and aardvarks. Now, we're going to talk about the mangrove forest. The mangrove forest is very important because they are considered a natural barrier for coastal soil erosion produced by winds and tides. They are also a very important source of goods and services to humans like fishery, tourism, coastal protection, timber, and plant products. Did you know that Ecuador has 6 of the 50 species of mangrove trees that exist in the entire world? We also can find a wide variety of fish species and other crustaceans like blue crab, red crab, or mollusks as clams and scallops. Now we are going to go to the highlands and we will enter to the cloud forest. The cloud forest is located in the sides of the Andean mountain range. It has a very damp and moistured soil that is rich in fungus. It allows trees and plants like cedars, ferns, and bromeliads to grow. Our cloud forests have the widest amount of orchid species in the world. It is the home for the Andean bear, toucans, pumas, and the hummingbird. Some examples of these places are the Paso Choa, Mindo, and Podocarpus. Now we're going to go upper in the mountains and we're going to find moorlands or pastures. This ecosystem is found on the sides of regular or snow-covered mountains. The plants that are found in these regions have very small hair-like texture that helps them to keep warmth. This means that when it is cold, they're not going to suffer any problems. Some of these plants are the almohadillas, frailejones, as well as other types of grass. There is also a very special flower, and we're talking about chuquiragua. The chuquiragua is very famous, and it's the most popular flower that can be found in the moorlands. About the animals, we have the white-tailed deer, the condor, that is our national bird, and the short-eared owl and the moorland fox. Now we're going to go a little lower, and we're going to enter to the tropical rainforest. This is one of the most famous places we have in our country besides Galapagos. It is located in the Amazon region, and its main features are the tall trees like pines, white or red cedar, the canantagua, which is a type of palm tree, and the African palm tree. About the biodiverse area of this world, it is considered one of the most important for the entire humanity. We also can find animals, and the animals that we can find here are the collared peccaries, jaguars, guatusas, the spider monkey, tigrillo, and many others. Now we're going to talk about wetlands. Wetlands have a wet and spongy soil, such as a marsh or a swamp. They are important to develop areas to plant rice, sugarcane, and other water-based plants that are needed for food surplus. That means for us. Some examples of flora and fauna include herons, frogs, rooted plants like reeds, sedges, water lilies, and also you're going to be able to find the water hyacinth in deeper waters. Dry valleys are located in the middle of the eastern and western Andean mountain range. It is known because of very, very low humidity as well as not enough water in these places. The leaves from the plants in these places turn into thorns to allow the plant keep water reserves to exist. Now let's go out of the country and let's get to the Enchanted Islands. We are talking about Galapagos, or also known as a World Heritage Site. These are situated over a hot mantle burning through the Earth's crust and generating volcanic activity. Eruptions pile on previous eruptions and eventually surface in the ocean. In general, each island is created by one individual large volcano. In the past 200 years, the islands have experienced some 50 eruptions, and these have been responsible of creating all this beautiful biodiversity in this ecosystem. Animals and plants found here are the marine iguana, the giant tortoise Galapagos. Just as you already know, it was Lonely George that actually is not anymore with us, the seal, the blue-footed booby, the fragata, and many others. The species found in land and in the sea are unique in its own kind. Okay, we have shown almost all of the ecosystems that belong to the terrestrial dominion. Now let's go to the aquatic. And the last, but not the least, the sea. It is one of the least known ecosystems. We have an approximate of 600 fish species, and from these, a big number can be consumed by human beings. Some species, like the blue whale, the white shark, the hammerhead shark, and many others, are included as endemic species of our country. As you can see, Ecuador has a vast amount of plants and animals all living together in harmony. All of us are responsible of taking care of each of these to preserve life the way we know it. Well, that's all for today, and thanks for watching the video. I hope the information given is useful enough to you. See you next time!